Episode 7 of the Duckbone Dispatch. Not going to be the full crew today because it is so hot out. Sara decided she's going to Greece, so joined by Matt Skillings today, filling in for Sara. Appreciate you jumping in on short notice, Skillings. Always know you can call on you when needed. Glad to have you here, Skillings. It is ridiculously hot out, guys, and I know we were talking about it a bit before the show started, but I'm already dripping sweat. I know Josh got out of work. I know Skillings, you just said you did 18 holes of golf. This is going to be a tough one, I feel. I already feel it, dripping down it's disgusting out. It is disgusting out.
The guy who spent all day is the one
I got a
complaining.
baseball game tonight. My bad,
You
Josh.
have a baseball game?
Yeah, dude, 6 o'clock.
Rose. And what were you saying, Josh?
The one guy who's been inside all day is the one complaining.
No, I went to the gym today, so that's a lie. The gym's inside.
Okay, you walked 5 minutes to your car, walked 5 minutes to get out of your car to go to the gym. My
Thomas,
bad.
we go to the same gym, dude. There's AC in there. It's not bad.
I'm aware there's AC in there, but it was a hot walk from the car to the building and from the building to my car. Team that has not been hot, the Boston Red Sox, after they traded Devers. It's really like they need a bat in the middle of their lineup who can just mash. It'd be awesome if they had that, but too bad they traded that away for next to nothing. There is one thing to celebrate, though. Connor Wong took him till June 23rd. That dude finally has an RBI. It took him almost half the season to make it happen. So congratulations, Connor Wong. You're still batting under 200, you bum. This series against the Angels has been some of the most frustrating baseball to watch. Their base running has been terrible. The decision-making has been terrible. Jarren Duran, in a vacuum, has been really bad these past 6 games without Rafael Devers. I feel like he's trying to do too much in a sense. I don't know how you feel about that, boys. But all the faith I had in this season before Devers got traded is gone. I was like, they're back. Anthony's here, Myers here. I have no faith in this team now.
I was gonna say, can we play the clip of you 2 episodes ago when you were like, the Boston Red Sox are back? Can we play that? Can we play that clip?
Pull it up on the social media, maybe play it from there. I don't have that clipped like I have the Josh I Love Booty clip. Obligatory must play that now because that is the greatest drop. It's also the only drop that we have, and it's my favorite drop. But again, here we go. It's perfect. It makes me happy. It makes me smile, man. Look at Curry. But back to the Boston Red Sox. Real quick, they're closing out a series against the Angels today. And then they fly back home for their first series since Rafael Devers has been traded. Skillings, what do you think Fenway Park is going to be like? I think it's Friday night is the first game back.
I mean, it'll be fine. You got this little tendency here, Tom, where you're a little bit overreact. You overreact a little bit to all these small winning streaks and losing streaks. It's a 162 game season, but I do agree they've been sloppy all season, and they're doing it again, and it's so frustrating because, like you said, I do think Duran is trying to compensate for some of that production you're losing with Rafael Devers with his base running, and for the most part, his aggressive base running I love. He stretches any routine single into a double almost every single time. But he's definitely doing too much. It's also, you see Garrett Crochet go out there and throw 7 shutout innings, 10 Ks. Greg Weissert, who's been pretty good all season, just comes up and gives up a bomb. I don't know. There's been so many ideas, we need a new bat now that Devers is gone. We need to fill the bullpen up now that, they're kind of reverting to the medium again. Walker Buehler's been absolutely atrocious in his last 3 or 4 starts. I don't know. You could go in any direction at the trade deadline, and they have needs everywhere, and somehow they have needs nowhere at the same time. I don't know how to explain it. If Walker Buehler figures it out, he's fine. But I don't know.
Yeah, it's really, do you trust Walker Buehler to figure it out? And I do not. That game was pathetic. They walked in 3 runs. They had 10 total walks, and they walked in 3 runs, 2 runs.
Buehler had 7 walks and 2 hit batters, dude. You're an MLB pitcher. If you get shelled, you get shelled. It is what it is. Walking is just the most unacceptable thing. I had a coach when I was in high school. You walk 2 guys, you're done. Doesn't matter. You could be throwing a no-hitter in the 5th inning. You walk 2 guys in an inning, you're done. That's how elementary throwing that many walks is. It's completely inexcusable.
Yeah, and then you have last night when Garrett Crochet, like you said, I mean, he is He is so good. He is so, thank God. Like, he's the only bright spot on this team in the past week, I feel, besides just like Meyer and Anthony just having fun watching them because they're young. He is so good, and he goes out there, seven shutout innings, and they still lose the game. Like, what more can the guy do besides go all nine? Which they're not gonna have him do because they have their stupid pitch count. Save him for the save him for the postseason. It's like, hey, you guys aren't in the postseason right now. Let's get there first and deal with that problem later. But a lot more going on in the sports world besides just the Red Sox being painful. Even though they are the only Boston sports team playing, the Celtics have been making moves, which we're going to get into real quick. And the Bruins, I mean, honestly, who gives a rat's ass at this point? But they announced new jerseys. I mean, whoop-de-doo. They're not going to win in these jerseys.
I thought they were going to name Pasta captain with that announcement. They were like, no, we're gonna put some new jerseys out there and make people forget about last year.
Honestly, like, hockey casual I am. I know you are a hockey insider, and Josh is falling in love with the game. I couldn't even tell what the difference is with the jersey, if I'm going to be honest with you, Skillings. Like, I couldn't tell you what they changed.
I didn't even look at the jersey, dude. I looked at the logo.
Exactly.
I didn't love those jerseys from 2 years ago when they had the alternates the whole season. I liked them as alternates, but for the full season, it was like, all right, guys.
Thank you, Josh,
this is what we
them
have.
up. Yeah, like, I couldn't tell you what's different. Couldn't tell you what's different.
The Centennials last year, or 2 years ago.
I feel like it's, yeah, but either way, like, this is all they have. The Centennial jerseys are cool.
Yeah, logo change.
Yeah, who cares? Nobody, like, this is how low the Boston Bruins are right now. They have to celebrate, like, new jerseys. Whoop-de-doo. Unveil new jersey with whatever. So, at least there is one team making moves to hopefully be better, and it seems like it's going to be addition via subtraction. Drew Holiday gone. Kristaps Porzingis gone. Probably not the last moves they make. Sam Hauser I could see going. A lot of talk as of right now, where it is currently 3:43 as of recording. Draft is in 4 hours and change. A lot of talk about Derek White being moved. A lot of talk about Jaylen Brown being moved. But let's start with what has happened. Drew Holiday traded away for Anthony Simons and 2 second-round picks, and Kristaps Porzingis traded and a 3-team deal to the Atlanta Hawks for George Niang and a second-round pick pick swap, whatever it may be. The Holiday trade was, wow, Brad Stevens is a generational GM. And the Kristaps trade was, all right, thought you were going to get more with this based on what Holiday got you, and just with the value around the market, and the market around the league has been, like guys like Desmond Bane going for crazy trade packages. How did you guys feel about those trades? Because I feel like, again, Holiday was like, oh, Brad's a generational GM, and Tingus was like, could have been better.
I mean, it was expected to happen. Everyone was shocked when it happened, and I'm like, I don't see why you're shocked, because we knew that the Celtics were in the second apron, and obviously you don't want to get rid of Tatum and Brown because they're your cornerstone of your team. You don't really want to get rid of Derek White because of the contract he has and what he's done for the team. So you look at the two guys remaining, you have an aging Drew Holiday on a lot of money and an injury-prone Kristaps Porzingis on a lot of money. It makes sense that those two are the two to unfortunately kick the bucket. But a lot of people were shocked by it, and I don't understand why. In my opinion, like everyone is either upset that this happened or they're like, why the hell did this happen? I'm like, this makes complete sense. And for people saying, oh, there goes your chances out the window for next season, buddy, our chances that we're out the next season, we're out the window during game 5. Did he get injured? 4?
4, because they won 5 without him and they're losing 6.
Oh, you're right, yeah. That's when you knew our chances were out the window, not completely, but a good chunk of it. And people are on the media now saying that Jalen Brunson is the guy who ended the Celtics, dynasty team. Bitch, go find yourself a coach, then come talk to me.
Honestly, the Knicks still don't have a coach. I think it's going to be his dad or like his uncle who's already on the staff will be their coach eventually.
They're gonna call back Tibbs and be like, "Hey, so you want
like
your
a late night booty call
back?"
when like you're really desperate and you're just like, "Hey, I know
it's gonna be a few drinks deep."
Just blasted, and it's like Taco Bell, Baja Blast on the table. Just Come back, please. I need you.
Man,
Come home.
I made a mistake, man. Like, it wasn't even my decision, man. It was the owners, man. They were the ones that wanted you gone. It wasn't even me, man. I'm offering you your old job, man. Like, come back, have a beer. I'm already 8 deep.
Yeah, I could very well. I mean, it would be so New York Knicks to go try to rehire Tibbs. It would be perfect. It would be so. That would make me so happy. But going back to the
But
holiday trade, Simons is a
I
dog.
oh yeah.
He's a dog.
Dude, it's not even like I love this for the Celtics. What the bleep are the Portland Trailblazers doing? What are they doing? Why are they getting rid of this guy for Drew Holiday, who's an aging, how old is he?
35.
35.
36 almost?
It's in the range. 35.
I'm more like, cool. We got Simons. What the hell are the Blazers doing?
It was essentially they had like a log jam with Scoot Henderson, Shaden Sharp. There's like a log jam. Like, all right, Simmons was kind of in the way of Sharp. But even then, the Celtics traded for Drew Holiday from the Portland Trailblazers. They traded Robert Williams away and got Drew Holiday. And they arguably got a better player back than Robert Williams when dumping off of Drew Holiday's contract, which is essentially what all this was. It was a salary dump. They're under the second apron now. Gives them more flexibility with making moves. They get the mid-level exception back. They get some trade exceptions back as well. They don't have to worry about their draft picks being frozen in like 7 years or something along those lines.
Free trial with Drew Holiday ended.
Essentially, it was what we got. We got a free trial. We got a 2-year trial. And it's like they forgot that we didn't want to renew our subscription. It was awesome. And Drew Holiday, pivotal part of Banner 18. And you can't deny that. Pacers game 1, he has the big steal. He has the last 5 points in that game as well. He has some big shots in the NBA Finals. Kristaps Porzingis, less important when it came to the playoff run because he was injured. But that game 1 against the Mavs when he was just automatic. I mean, that was special. And he'll always have that. Yeah, he'll have his injury problems that we're not going to forget about, his weird health conditions that they still don't really know what is going on, which is why I think they got less for Kristaps Porzingis because he's such a high-risk, high-reward player. Because if he's playing, you have a legitimate 3-and-D big, which is just so game-changing in the NBA. A guy at 7 feet tall who can stretch the floor. And when he stretches the floor, he's not your regular big who's going to sit in the corner and just right on the line. He likes to shoot from 2 to 3 steps behind the line. He shoots like a 28-foot 3-point shot is his average distance, so he just creates that much more space. And then defensively, he can switch onto smaller guards, he can move, he can stay with them, and he's a legitimate rim-protecting threat as well. So the reason I think you see the Hawks make this move, because we all know why the Celtics do it. It's a salary dump. They got to get under the apron. And I didn't think they could do it in just 2 moves. And again, Brad Stevens is on a generational run as a GM. I cannot stress how he is just perfect for this job. Just perfect. Like, there hasn't been a move he's made that I disagree with.
Because he's a nerd.
He's a nerd. Hey, this is when it pays to be a nerd.
Now, I will say, Craig Breslow, nerd, not doing so hot. But
Breslow bought, fine, like, literally, yeah. This is how you be a nerd and, like, move off. Great comparison, Skillings. Yeah. Way to go. Like, yeah, Brad Stevens is a basketball nerd and a guru. That's what Craig Breslow thinks he is. Like, he goes to bed at night and he thinks he's Brad Stevens.
Craig Breslow, in a vacuum, dude, Craig Breslow's moves haven't been that bad, except for the Devers one. Think about, he brought in Garrett Crochet, he brought in Alex Bregman. You know, he had a great offseason.
He's been downhill ever since.
You want to know what, Tom, you want to know what Brad Stevens is and what
is he,
Craig
Josh?
Breslow is?
What
was my last week's comparison?
Oh my god, don't get the potato and the onion back out, bro. That was just the craziest thing.
I don't have the potato and the onion.
Thank God. I had no clue where you're going to go with that. He just randomly goes,
no, it's not a pineapple.
SGA is a sexy potato, and Tyrese Halliburton is an onion. I go, what the hell is this comparison, Josh? It's just, he's sitting in his kitchen, it's like, what food do I have in front of me, is what he's thinking about.
No, I have a pineapple now.
Yeah, well, I'm not a fan of pineapple, so.
You don't like pineapple? What's wrong with you?
Pineapple is such a terrible fruit, bro.
Thomas, you have the diet of like a 4-year-old, bro. You eat
I love fruit. I have a terrible diet, but I love fruit.
You love fruit? I lived around you for 3.5 years of college. I don't think I ever saw you
because I'm not eating the stew fruit, bro. That stuff was nasty.
Bro, it's an apple.
That thing, yeah, the apples were terrible. I grab them when they were terrible.
I don't think the stew does anything different to their apples than freaking Star Market down the street.
No, the stew fruit was terrible. Like watermelons, gas; strawberries, gas; grapes, gas; raspberries, gas; apples, pears. Not a fan of bananas, and I don't like pineapple.
Could have got
Bananas.
some at the grocery store, but no, you're
Well, that's expensive. I'm trying to ball on a budget.
fruit's expensive.
Dude, everything's expensive.
If you're gonna
Okay,
pay
but
money
you can
for
still
any food, pay for fruit.
you can
Nah.
still afford those little bites.
Little
and
bites
those
are fruit. I'm
golden
taking little bites
Oreos.
every day of the week. I need those little bites to survive. I have those for
You
breakfast
don't.
every single day. Yeah, I eat like a child. We know that. We're getting off topic here. Getting off topic. Nobody cares about my. Everybody who watches this knows how bad of an eater I am. Is the thing. They're all gonna watch this and be like, "Yeah, he sucks at eating." Like I had chicken nuggets and tater tots for lunch today. Like, and you know what? I enjoyed those. Not even chicken nuggets. Dino chicken nuggets and tater tots. And you know what? I enjoyed my lunch today. You know what I had it with? I had a chocolate milk and I had a cheese stick. And that was my lunch today. And it was fire.
And let me guess. You put a little salt on it.
I did put a lot of salt on it. I'm a big
Ooh.
salt guy. I am a big salt
Watch out for
guy.
that sodium.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
your
probably gonna have a heart
definition of
attack.
seasoning. That's your definition of seasoning.
What am I gonna put seasoning on a Dino chicken nugget? I'm putting it in the air
No,
fryer
but
because
you
I'm too
you,
lazy
you
to turn the
don't put
oven
any
on.
seasoning on. Your definition of seasoning is just salt.
I'm not gonna season a Dino chicken nugget, bro. It
Dude,
doesn't
I'm
need
not saying that, but
seasoning.
with
Who
anything.
the hell seasons
With
a Dino
anything.
chicken nugget?
You
this
do, 'cause you
big.
put salt on it. You put salt on it, you dumbass.
Yeah, but that's not like worked. It's literally just like the one thing that we have sitting out. We have salt and pepper. Pepper's nasty. Salt is fire. Little salt, bang. And then you just kind of like at the end when it's like the last chicken nugget, you just kind of like push it around the plate and pick up all the extra salt. Gas.
Can you
Gas.
say the word pepper again?
Pepper?
Dude,
You mean pepper.
you can say pepper.
I mean, I can say pepper, but pepper. Like pepper, like.
No,
it's
you just
fire.
said, no, you just said pepper right there.
I'm not
You
like,
said
I don't, I
pepper.
can say pepper, but like, salt and pepper. Like, shoot me. Like,
No.
I don't know why you guys are coming after me. This is not what we're talking about. The Celtics are making
Well, then-
generational moves right now, and you care about my food palette. It's not going to change. It doesn't change in 22 years. It's not going to change in the next 22, okay? Anybody want to get a last dig in before we move on?
No, all good, man.
I do.
Oh yeah.
All
there we go.
right, get it off your chest, Josh.
What are you gonna order at a restaurant when you go on a first date with a woman?
So you got to be strategic about it. I'm going to a pizza place and getting a pizza. So then she can realize I'm super funny. I'm super handsome. I eat like a child, but you know what? She can get around that. We're going to Chick-fil-A. Like, what's wrong with Chick-fil-A? Chick-fil-A's fire.
You gotta ball out on the first date. You gotta spend some money.
So Josh and I actually have this very, like, we had this conversation going on for a very long time about, like, a first date. Because we don't want to just be, like, a free meal to a woman is the thing. So you got to balance it between, like, balling out.
Well, we're gonna get some
like,
comments on
Chick-fil-A.
these videos now.
Yeah, I mean,
Well, okay. I didn't say bring her to like Chick-fil-A or like some.
well, I'm not
cheap
saying
fast
take her to,
food
like,
place.
the food pantry, but, like, I'm not going to also
No,
bring her to, like,
I'm
a
not-
5-star restaurant.
Yeah, no, I don't know about a 5-star restaurant, but I'm not gonna like be a cheap loser and be like, all right, we're gonna get the dollar menu off McDonald's. Like, I'll take you out to my best local restaurant that I know.
All right, I got one last dig on you, Thomas.
Yeah.
You're the kind of guy who would tell the girl you're taking her to an expensive restaurant, and you'd head right on down to the Natick Mall and go to the Cheesecake Factory. That's 100% you. 100%.
It'd be like a 99. I don't know about a Cheesecake Factory. I love the 99. You got to love the
The
9s.
99's gas, but that's not even fake upscale. That's you gotta love the 9s. Get the. I don't even.
I
know.
just need to
Bring it
find me a
to a-
woman who wants to
Kids
get
eat
dressed
free.
up nice and fancy and go to Chick-fil-A. I don't see anything wrong with that.
You're gonna bring her to what's that bar near you? Funky Murphy's? Is that what it's called?
Funky's. I was at
Murphy's.
Funky's last night with Paul.
Yeah, you're
Buddy
gonna
won
bring,
trivia.
You're
He
gonna bring
was
her
so
there.
proud.
Oh, shout out to your dad then. Shout out to Paul.
No shout-outs to Paul. No. Negative shout-outs to Paul for when he just walks in
What?
while we're recording.
What? Nah. Don't diss him. Don't diss him like that.
I'm going to diss him all I want. Dude left for an hour appointment and came back. He left at 11:30 and he got back 20 minutes ago. I don't know what that dude does. He just disappears. Like Kristaps Porzingis in the playoffs, when you really need a big man, he just disappears because he has random health. Maybe Paul has random health issues like Kristaps Porzingis, and I should be a little bit more worried about that. I don't think he
Smooth
does.
transition back into basketball talk there. I like it.
I'm trying, bro. Hey, that's what I'm paid the big bucks for.
See, I
Skillings.
saw it coming and I was trying to come up with a way to roast him so that we wouldn't transition back. Just to tick him off a little bit
Do
more.
you want to drive the bus today, Josh? Do you want to drive the bus? You want
Let
to
me
be in
drive the
charge?
boat.
You want to drive the
Let me
boat?
drive the boat.
You want to be in charge?
See, I did. I successfully did it. I stopped the transition.
All right. If you want to be in charge, Josh, just say it. And you can be in charge. Seems like you want to be
No,
in charge
you're-
today. Get a little bit of an attitude.
Because you were midway through, so continue.
Exactly. So the Kristaps Porzingis trade, Drew Holiday, Skillings, you like the Drew Holiday trade, right? I don't even know if we got your opinion on it.
I'm not the basketball guy you go to, but I did like it. Obviously, like aging Drew Holiday, like you guys said, like yeah, he's been great for the Celtics, but now's the time to sell high. And you got a good young player, a guy who's right around Tatum and Brown's age. He's gonna, age well with them for the next few years. Could be a key part of retooling.
Yeah, and he will be a key part of retooling just because I think they're going to move off of him. There's a lot of talk about the NBA draft tonight. Celtics seem to want to move up. They want to draft the kid from Illinois, the point guard. Don't know his name. For some reason, I feel like his last name has the word cock in it. If you could look that up for me, Josh, that would be awesome.
Kofi
So I don't
Coburn?
seem like an
Can we
asshole.
Can we draft a center?
No, it's the
Is it
point guard from
possible for
Illinois
us
they
to
want to
draft a
get, is
center?
who I believe they're targeting in the NBA
They
draft.
want. Oh my God.
Give it your best shot.
Will Riley?
Kasparis Jacksonis.
Oh my God, yeah.
He's the white kid from Illinois, right? He was like 32.
Kasparis Jacksonis?
Yeah, the
That,
point guard,
that could be so wrong.
point guard, whatever. That guy's name right there. Point guard from Illinois.
KJ. There's his nickname. KJ.
Yeah, KJ from Illinois is who they look to be targeting, point guard. So I wouldn't be surprised if they package Simons into a move like that to move up into the lottery, but they haven't been since Romeo Langford, I believe, was their last lottery pick. And who knows if that kid's even still in the league. So it's been a while since they've been in the lottery. Brad Stevens has only drafted one guy in the first round in his entire time as the GM, and that was Baylor Shireman. I'm pretty sure that was one of his only picks in the first round. So it'll be interesting to see if they do move up into the lottery to draft KJ from Illinois or anybody else they're targeting as well.
Can I stop you in your tracks real quick?
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
If they end up trading for him, he's projected to go number 8 right now to the Nets. That's just kind of like his standing. If we were to trade up for this pick, you would have to trade with either, I think, the Wizards or the Pelicans, who sit at 6 and 7, because the Nets have 4 first-round picks. I don't think they're going to take that number 8 pick and trade it down. I think they're going to take all those, or not all of them, some of those first-round picks, including that number 8 pick, and try to go up in the draft to like maybe number 3 with the 76ers or number 2 with the Spurs. So I think that's your best chances is 6 and 7, or if you really want to get ballsy with it, which I don't think they'll do, because Tom, you mentioned this earlier. Jaylen Brown his name is on the market. The Utah Jazz sit at 5. It's been heard that the Utah Jazz are making a heavy push for Jaylen Brown. So you could very slightly see, I don't think it's happening because I'll explain why in a minute. You could see Jaylen Brown trade for the number 5 overall pick, where Ace Bailey is supposed to be projected, because his stock fell tremendously because he refused a workout with the 76ers, which is kind of stupid in my opinion.
I don't blame him.
But I don't think we're going to trade Jaylen Brown, because the reason is because how many off seasons have we gone through where Jaylen Brown's name is on the market and he's in trade rumors and it never happens.
He's been in trade rumors almost his entire career as a Boston Celtic. You think about it.
He's been in there since I think Tatum has been drafted.
Even before that, he was probably in trade rumors.
Every offseason, is Jaylen Brown going to get traded? Jaylen Brown's on the trade block. Jaylen Brown's on the market. Never ends up happening.
Think about it. You could probably count them. There's probably 5 of them. Kevin Durant, twice he's been on the trade market for Kevin Durant. Twice he's been involved in trade talks for KD. Anthony Davis, he was involved in heavy trade talks for. Kawhi Leonard, he was involved in heavy trade talks for. Paul George, he was involved in trade talks for. So this guy, pretty much his entire career, has been told from rumors and insiders that the Celtics are shopping him, which you're shopping a top 20 NBA player around every single year. It just doesn't make sense to want to move off of Jaylen Brown unless you're really committing to Tatum's out next year completely. Let's tank for a bad draft pick. Let's get young guys. When Tatum comes back, he has a young, good core around him to go and compete for an NBA championship. If that's the route they want to go, and we've gone multiple times on here, Josh, we've gone about the different paths the Celtics have. They could rebuild, retool, restock, reload, whatever the word was we used back then. I think it was reload. It seems like they're going in sort of a retool situation where they're They've
They
moved off.
should.
I mean, that seems to be the path they're going right now. They've moved off Drew.
That's the correct path.
Yeah, again, opinion. It's an opinion, but I'm not disagreeing with you.
No,
But they've moved
it's the
off Drew.
correct
They've
path.
moved off KP. They've dumped that salary, and they're gonna run it this year with guys like Simons, Niang, Brown, White, Pritchard, Shireman, Hauser if they keep him. They're gonna have to go and get a big man, Al Horford if he stays, Luke Cornett if they re-sign him, things of that nature. And then when Tatum's back, they'll have roster flexibility to move around and build around them, get a new center, get a point guard, and then it'll be, point guard A, maybe Pritchard, White, Brown, Tatum, center, and that'll be your new starting five. And if you're retooling, you believe that the core they have, White, Tatum, Brown, will be good enough again to win an NBA championship with the right pieces. The only reason you would move off of a Brown, in my opinion, is if you get a deal that just blows you out the water. That is, if it's the Jazz, let's say hypothetically, like the 5th overall pick, maybe Colin Sexton or Lauri Markkanen and like Walker Kessler and like next year's first round pick as well. That's the only reason you would make that move. And still, I don't know if I move off of Jaylen Brown.
No, I don't think you do because I'm going to go back to the thing I've been saying all off season. I mean, obviously, if you get rid of Jaylen Brown and Derek White, you're basically just committing to a rebuild until
You're tanking next year.
Tatum.
You're gonna tank.
Tatum
Tatum's
gets
out for the
back.
full year, and you're tanking.
But then again, I don't think you really need to necessarily tank. I think it's better for Tatum if you don't tank. Because, again, if you keep a fairly familiar system with the Boston Celtics, aka keeping Jaylen Brown and Derek White, the second Tatum returns, that team will be able to pick up faster, leave off where they come back where they left off. Tatum will be able to adapt to the team more quickly, and he won't have to adapt to a brand new system with a bunch of young guys who think they're tough shit and a whole just new team that might cause some imbalance and some time to adjust, and we don't know how well it will turn out. If Tatum, and I won't repeat myself, but if Tatum comes back with Brown and White and Mazzulla, then it's okay. We're going to pick up right where we left off. Maybe it will take us a month or two or a little bit of time just get the wheels turning again, but eventually you'll get back to where you were. New team, new adjustments. I don't like it for the next couple years. I think if you just keep the two guys, at least these two, and you bring Tatum back, I think you can pick up next season. Not next season, season after.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you, Josh. This is a core can win a championship with the right pieces around them. Why move off of that? Nobody's had a serious fall off in their game. Yeah, Tatum had an Achilles injury, which is sometimes career altering, but at 27 years old, 28 years old, there's no reason to believe he can't come back from it and be the same player. Kevin Durant, same exact injury, similar time frame. He had it when he was 3 years older than Tatum. When he came back, and I'm not going to say KD was the same player, but he's still an elite NBA player. He's still a superstar. He's still a star in this league that teams are actively looking to get because they believe he can bring championship pedigree and a future championship to their team, which is why you've seen teams like the Phoenix Suns, Brooklyn Nets, now the Houston Rockets make aggressive trade packages for Kevin Durant because he's still a dog. He can still score from all 5 levels. Yeah, he might not be as physical as he once was, but Kevin Durant was really not the physical type, and he has a smaller frame. And I think Tatum is better suited to come back from this injury than Kevin Durant was. So I'm not too worried about Tatum coming back and being a different player. Yeah, Josh?
I don't want to go too off track. Just side note. Phoenix Suns front office is god-awful.
They're up there with the Blazers, bro.
They suck.
Up there with, just no direction. They have like 5 guards and 5 small forwards on their team, and that's it right now. So you'll see a lot more movement from the Phoenix
guards,
Suns.
The big three shooting guards.
Beal.
Jalen Green, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal.
And Jalen Green's a good player, too. I'm surprised they moved off of him and not Jabari Smith Jr., but Houston Rockets, again, with the way the NBA is right now, and this is a great segue, so thank you. The East is wide open. Wide open. With Tyrese Halliburton tearing his Achilles, he's out for the whole season. Tatum's out for mostly the whole season. The only team you have that really, who knows what the New York Knicks are going to be with that head coach now. They're going to have a whole philosophy change. Who knows what they're going to be. And the only team that seems like they are consistently going to be back is the Cleveland Cavaliers. So the East is wide open. So I think you'll see very aggressive moves from teams in the East this offseason, Josh. We've already started to see it. There's a reason the Atlanta Hawks took the big swing on Kristaps Porzingis because he's a big swing. if he pans out and is everything we know he can be when he's healthy, they got to steal. They got to steal right there. Because Jordan Yang, let me tell you, he's a journeyman role player. He's here because he's cheap and he's on an expiring contract. That's the only reason he's here. The Celtics don't really want him; they want his contract. So you'll see teams like the East.
I'm scared of Trae Young.
Hey, but imagine a Trae Young, Kristaps Porzingis pick and roll though. If Kristaps is healthy, that's dangerous.
Trae Young had Clint Capella. Oh well, that didn't really go anywhere.
No, but Clint Capella can't shoot the 3 ball. Kristaps Porzingis can shoot the. Trae Young, he's just not my favorite player. I'm not gonna, he's up not on the list of like Paul George and SGA of my like least favorite players or Joel Embiid, but he's close to the list. Not my favorite. I think he's whiny. I think he's a terrible hairline. He looks weird. Not my favorite player, but he's dangerous in the what? He's got a bad hairline. He's ugly.
Personal traits, man. He can't control how he looks in his hairline, dude.
He can fix his hairline. You can get a hair transplant. He can fix his hairline.
Yeah, he's got time. He's got a few months now.
He's got time. He's got money. He's got plenty of options to fit. I mean, yeah, he can't control that he's like short and got hit with the ugly stick, but he can fix his hairline. And he can control that he's a whiny little guy.
He got hit with the ugly stick. I guarantee you, if this ever goes anywhere and big time NBA players hear this, there's gonna be some NBA player that you love, Tom, that's gonna be like, yeah, this Tom Crisafulli kid from Duck Boat Dispatch, yeah, this kid's ugly. Not that you're ugly, Tom, I'm just saying.
Side note, you know where the ugly stick, what movie that's from?
The Ugly Stick?
Yeah, we watched these movies together. You loved these movies.
Oh, these movies? Oh, it's the Austin Powers movies.
He's talking about his mother. He's talking about his boss's mother. Oh, she looks like she's been hit with an ugly stick. That's my mother, man. What are you talking about?
I don't remember that one.
Because you're more focused on Fat Bastard and
I was focused on Fat Bastard.
Vanessa, girl from the first movie.
Oh yeah,
Vanessa. Yeah. She was a fembot.
Vanessa was a fembot this whole time.
What does this become? Oh, this is pathetic. This is why we need Sara to keep us grounded. This is why we need Sara to keep us grounded. She keeps us.
Sara just knows about Trevor Lawrence the whole time.
She does. Anytime she gets a chance, she'll talk about how much she loves Trevor Lawrence. I hope she's enjoying her time in Greece, though. Greece is beautiful.
She's definitely having a better time than we are.
I don't know, man. Skillings has been laughing the entire single time he's
been. I'm not saying this in particular is fun, but I bet she's having a lot more fun in Greece than we are at, sweating our asses off at golf courses and going to the gym.
Sitting in a chair in my house.
Think maintaining a golf course is as fun as Greece?
Where'd you go?
I don't play golf.
No, Juniper Hills. Me and my boy Cam Hunt.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, did you go by yourself? Because I know you like to go with random people.
No, I go with my friends. I go by myself, and then I get paired up with random people sometimes.
Yeah, I know.
I'm trying to grind, dude. I'm trying to get my tour card by the time I'm 30.
All right, bro. I believe in you. I know you and Nate love to golf. What'd you shoot?
I shot an 84 2 days ago. Best score of my life.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the NBA. There's a few more things you want to touch on before we look at top 5 running backs. We are dragging through this, by the way, boys. We are dragging through this segment. There's going to be a painful listen. I'm sorry. This is going to be terrible. This is just the worst.
The people want the camaraderie between the hosts.
They're either going to love it. James Barry is either going to love this or hate this. Mark my words.
James Barry's going to love this episode. Shout out James
He is going to love this episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But let's go back to the NBA. The window is open because I don't know about you, Josh. I think the Thunder were not that impressive in this playoff series. And I know I am an Oklahoma City Thunder hater. If you don't think I like Trae Young, I can't stand SGA. I can't stand Chet Holmgren's ugly ass. I can't stand Lou Dort's bum ass.
You calling these guys ugly?
Right. Chet Holmgren is legitimately ugly. He looks like Abe Lincoln in the modern day era in Chicago. He looks horrible. Like he is one of the weirdest looking NBA player. Like, and I get it. I'm a scrawny guy. I have a long neck. Like this dude makes me feel confident. Like if I stood next to him, I'd feel confident about myself. And I think he is so overhyped. I think he had a terrible final series. Besides, he had one decent game. And Doris Burke in the finals was like, oh, Chet Holmgren with another block. And he's been so special in this series. It's like, no, he's been thrown around by Miles Turner like 5 games of the 7-game series. So I think the NBA is wide open. Long story short is what I'm getting there. Besides my hatred for some of the players. Like Alex Caruso, I don't like at all. I can respect where he's like his grind.
Are you
and, like,
gonna say he looks dumb?
No, but like the headband and the
I was
bald
about to
guy,
say,
like
I was about to say, I heard you say he looks. I heard that come out of your breath.
no, my mom thinks he looks dumb. She's not a big Alex Caruso fan. She thinks the bald with the headband looks stupid. And she's got a point. She's like, what is he holding up with the headband? I go, you have a fair point there, Mom. But I don't really know what to say to you. Like, I don't know what to say to you at all about this. But do you think the Thunder can go back to back? And I know everybody's like, this could be the new dynasty, and I'm kind of sick of that because we've gone 7 years in a row without a repeat champion. Can this be the team that breaks that cycle?
Yes and no. I actually had you kind of took this question or reworded it. Been thinking about a question for a while. Who is the first guy in this like kind of new generation of players? Who's going to be the first guy to get a second championship? So I'm talking about Giannis has one, Jokic has one, Tatum has one, now SGA has one. Like which of we haven't seen any of these guys win a second ring. Who's going to be that guy to do it, or is it like someone else? That's kind of what I'm alluding to because I feel like whoever wins this second championship, I feel like has an argument for being the face of the league. If we want to get, if I don't know, we don't have to go into that conversation, but that's something I'm alluding to is whoever wins the second championship first is going to have a real good argument on why they're going to become the new face of the NBA.
Want to know who I think it can be? And this is it all matters about health. Like I would love to say Tatum, but I don't know if Tatum's gonna be able to do it. I think Wemby could very easily, if he's
That's a
healthy,
good one.
and the Spurs are building a great roster around him. Oh my God, he could just. And that's why I don't think the Thunder are gonna do it again. I think Wemby's time is like arriving this upcoming season.
I'm telling you this now. Next season, because of I'm making my own little standings list. I'm going in depth on it. The Orlando Magic are going to be a top three team in the East. They're going to be a top 3 team in the East. I'm telling you this now. They're going to be that 3 seed. And then the Spurs are going to be in the top 4 for the West.
Yeah, I don't think that's crazy at all. The East is wide open. It's Cavs, Pistons, Magic, Knicks is the East right now. Who knows what the 76ers are if they're healthy. They still have Paul George, and I think he is actually my least favorite player in the NBA of all time right now.
What's wrong with Paul George?
I've lost so much money on Paul George.
My
George.
God.
He is terrible, dude. He is actually a waste of like $100 million.
Not.
He's up there with like Tobias Harris for the
Have
worst
you
contract
never
in the
seen
NBA.
Paul George on the Pacers when he had to go toe to toe against Braun?
But we're over a decade away from that Paul George. Like old Paul George, like Pacers Paul George, great. Even Thunder Paul George, before Thunder playoff P Paul George existed, good guy. After playoff P, he's been a bum. He's been an absolute bum. I mean, there is a 15-minute video on YouTube of guys hitting game-winning shots over Paul George. And yeah, some of that's unluck because he's just like the guy defending. But he's a legitimate bum nowadays, bro. Like, you go to Paul, like, both teams
You think he's
in the
a bum
NBA Finals,
because he's selling your parlays?
Josh, both teams in the finals got there by trading away Paul George and starting the rebuild. That's how they got there. And yeah, it took the Thunder a lot less time than the Pacers. But the Pacers got there based off of what they got from the Paul George trade away and what those assets led to. The Thunder got there solely because they traded away Paul George for SGA and like 8,000 draft picks.
So does this mean that since we trade away Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett for Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, that they suck?
No, but they're absolutely why they were what led to this new era of Celtics basketball. Those picks led to Tatum and Brown. They had like there is a cause and effect with that trade.
There's a cause and effect to everything, Tom.
Yeah, but not every cause and effect, not every trade leads to an NBA championship. The Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett trade ultimately helped
just hate him because he sells your parlays.
I mean, yeah, that's a factor in it, but you couldn't find like a 76ers fan that's like, oh my God, yes, we have Paul George. He's going to save the 76ers. No, Paul George is going to show up there and shoot like 1 for 13.
I was one of those guys who doesn't believe. I am one of those guys who doesn't believe in the 76ers.
I was going to say, you hate the Sixers more than me. What are you doing?
Let me finish. Not because they have Paul George. It's because they have Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid effing sucks.
Yeah, and I don't like Joel Embiid either, but Paul George is a bum as well. Like, they're just a bunch of, like, the only guy on the team that's likable is Tyrese Maxey and Gershon Yabusele. Only 2 likable guys on that team.
Hey, don't diss Jared McCain. What's wrong with Jared McCain?
I forgot he was there because he got injured. Like, yeah, he's going to have his sophomore season coming up. Should be exciting. But if they can move off Embiid and, like, Paul George, maybe they can be something. Why do you think Ace Bailey doesn't want to go there? Because he knows he doesn't want the stench of Paul George on his career.
No, he doesn't want the stench of Joel
He
Embiid.
doesn't want either of their stenches of them on his career. That's why he doesn't want to go to 76ers. They're
No, final statement though. Any future athletes or current athletes out there, if you sell Tom Crucifio's parlay, you are either considered a bum or you're ugly.
Skillings, you gamble. Help me out here. Sarah and Josh don't gamble. Like, you hold grudges against guys who lose your parlays, right?
I don't gamble like you. I toss minimal amounts of money on some things, but
This is the guy who at one point in time had $800 in Fliff. Let's just put that out there.
I did.
Let me make it very
I did.
clear.
Flip,
The guy
flip
worked his way
money
to
was, dude. I had
It's not
a
really-
generous. I might have been the greatest flip better of all time. No, I don't hate on. I hate him for like a minute, like when I have like a
Hate's
four
a
leg
strong
parlay.
word.
Like
Hate is a very strong word. Like, I hold a grudge against this
It's,
player.
Hate's a strong
it's-
word. You were calling guys ugly.
it's a
different
passive
than hate.
hate for me. Like, all right, yeah, Bryson DeChambeau choked in the Masters. You're annoying. I still like you. Like,
No, if you sell me enough, I will put you on a list and I won't bet you. Like,
stop
I
doing
have
What's
that.
the name of that list? What's the name of that list?
We're not gonna.
What's the name of that list?
I call it
The ugly
the. It's
losers
the.
list.
It's the don't bet them Diddy list. Is what I call it. It consists of. I'll go through the whole list: Travis Kelce, Brandon Ayuk, Jacoby Myers, Jordan Mason, Lamar Jackson, Josh Jacobs, Cortland Sutton, Brendan Ayuk's knees, DJ Moore, Young Hoku, and then you go to the NBA: Paul George, Rudy Gobert, Bronny James, Mikal Bridges, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Aaron Gordon, Tyler Duffy for giving me a Buddy Hield bet when he went 3 for 14, Colin Sexton for going 0-7. College football is all of Old Miss. And then some kid in
Say
one of my
Old
classes
Miss?
had a mullet. What'd you say?
Did you say Old Miss?
Ole Miss, the entire college football
You for
program
sure
of Ole
said
Miss.
old.
Can I go back to something on one name you said? Are you betting on Bronny?
I think I
Why
was
are you
betting on
putting
Brown.
bets on Bronny?
I don't know. I had a bet on. You know
That's
what?
your own fault.
Dude, I bet on the first presidential debate, bro. You can't ask me this question. Like, you
It's a
know
better
what I
idea
bet.
to bet on the Knicks than to bet on Bronny.
Apparently not, because Mikal Bridges is on the list. So, Mikal Bridges, bet him on opening night, and that dude stunk. Couldn't hit a single three. So yeah, I don't. Hate's a strong word. I don't want anything bad to happen to these players. I'm not one of those guys. Like the DMs, like, oh, you should go kill it. Like, no, just like you lost me my money. You suck. And you have a hater, you have a guy who's gonna hold a grudge and root against you for life when you're playing the sport. I hope you do well in life. I hope if you have a beautiful family, beautiful kids, if that's what you want, you're happy. But just know that I will be rooting against you every time you step on the basketball court. So Paul George.
So if these
so we're
players
getting
were
it
to
back.
like email us and be like, "We want to be on your show," would you say no to them
I'd
because they
absolutely
sold
say
you?
yes. If any if any pro athlete wants to be on the show, like go for like. It's not like I'm welcoming it. That'd be awesome. Would love to talk to them and like pick their brain about that. But yeah, I'm gonna have like a little bit of a Paul George, I've lost probably $50 on you. Not a big. You want to Venmo me, buddy?
I'm sure he'll love that.
Put him in the Gatorade commercial, bro. I'll be like, you could have hit that shot in the Gatorade commercial. That's what he thinks he is in every single shot now. He thinks he's in that Gatorade commercial. Even Jeff Teague was making fun of him for missing a shot, and he was like, "How about that Gatorade commercial?"
That's how it makes you feel, man.
Hey, I'm allowed. I'm
It's in
entitled
the
to my
commercial.
opinions. Huh?
It's in the commercials, dude. That's how you make you feel. It's in the
Speaking of
commercials.
real
Commercials
quick,
don't
dumb
lie.
commercials. The Villanova Knicks commercial was one of my least favorite commercials of all time. I hated that commercial.
Which one was that one?
Where they had like Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, and it was like, "Don't leave us, Dante." It's like, you guys traded away Dante DiVincenzo for a reason, and it's like
Yeah.
Verizon or whatever the hell it was, like for not Verizon Wireless, whatever the hell the company was. Sidebar, really was like, this is a stupid commercial. It was like I had to see it every single time. But yeah, I think we got all of the NBA talk out. Hopefully, Celtics don't move off of White or Jaylen Brown. I was telling Skillings before you got here. I guarantee you it breaks once we're done recording, Josh. Guarantee you if one of them gets traded, it breaks after we record.
I'm checking. I keep Twitter open while we record, so
Yeah,
I'm
I feel
keeping my
bad
eyes
because I have
on
Twitter
it.
open too. I'm like refreshing, but I don't want to miss something.
I've always had it open.
All right, well, let's move on. We're talking a lot about, players we don't like, things of that nature. Let's move on to players we do like. Let's get to the NFL. We are, I want to say, 71 days away from the NFL season. I could be wrong. It could be closer than that. It could be further away than that. But this week, we're looking at top 5 running backs. We looked at quarterbacks last week. A lot of, shout out all of the people who commented. We appreciate that. I got a lot of texts and DMs of people that did not appreciate Sarah's list because Patrick Mahomes is not on there. And you know what? You want to say anything about Sarah Pedophilie, that girl stands by her statements. She does not like Patrick Mahomes. She was not putting him on the list, and you got to respect that. You have to respect that. You got to love that.
Her reason is that she's not going to put a crybaby on her list.
And you know what? If that's her reasoning, it's her list.
And she's standing on it.
Yep.
She's standing on business.
The 5 players below her said, above that name said Sara, not my list. Absolutely entitled to her own opinion. But we moved to running backs this week.
I just respect her for putting Jane Daniels on that list.
A lot of people were like, where's Jane Daniels on everybody else's list? And I was like, it's tough to put a rookie QB up there because we saw what CJ Stroud did, and he had a tough sophomore season. So you never know when these teams actually have film on you and know your tendencies, what they can do against you defensively. But if he goes out there and, does something very similar to last year, he only strengthens his argument because I think Hurts has the weakest argument. Just because he won the Super Bowl, I believed he had to be in there. But I don't want to rehash that all because we did that last week. You can go back and watch YouTube at the Duckboat Dispatch. It's on there, full episode. It's like halfway through the episode we start talking about it. But this week we're doing running backs, and the big difference is I think quarterbacks was pretty, I don't want to say clear cut for me, but in my mind there was 5 guys in there, and you're going to order them in whatever order you want to put them in based on your personal preference. Running backs, I think, is going to be a very different topic because there was 7 or 8 guys who I thought about when thinking of this list. And I know Josh is out right now, so it's just you and me, Skillings. Now Josh is back. I lied. Getting a piece of paper. Thank you, Josh.
Getting my paper, bro.
I know what you're doing. Maybe you disagree with me. I feel like this is, I was saying last week with QBs, it's pretty much 5 guys. You're going to put them in whatever order. There's 7 or 8 guys who could be on this top 5 list, I feel.
I feel like
Right,
everyone's
Skillings?
going to have the same number 1.
Yeah, I think number one in most of the positions are clear cut. But after number 1, you got to think about it. And I know the direction I went.
2 is obvious, no?
Maybe. I mean, we'll get into all of it.
Did you argue with yourself on 2? Because I didn't argue on 2.
I did. I had to think about it for a minute. But it was like a quick minute. I got to go down and find mine. So let's start with Skillings. He's the guest here today. Skillings, why don't you give us your top 5s going from 1 all the way to 5?
1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
What did we do it last week? Did we do 1 to 5? I think
we went 1 to 5, but that's because it was so obvious who number 1 was. I think we can still go 1 to 5. I think maybe for receivers we go 5 to 1.
I mean, we all have Saquon number 1, I'm assuming.
You can't assume anything, man.
All right, Skillings, give us your list.
No. Saquon Barkley, number 1.
Yep, fair. I mean, disgusting.
Yeah. Derrick Henry, number 2.
All right, yep. I don't know the same number 2.
All right. Jahmyr Gibbs, number 3.
Yep.
Yeah? All right.
Yep.
This one might be crazy. I think this one's probably going to get the most controversial reactions. Joe Mixon, number 4.
Wow. All right, I did not have Mixon in my top 5. All right,
No?
we'll talk about
Was he in your top 7 or 8 you were considering?
He wasn't even in my top 7.
Really? All right.
Nope.
And then 5, I got Jonathan Taylor.
All right. So, obviously the big one is Joe Mixon, number 3. Right, number 3? 4? All right,
4.
So you went... All right, so why Joe Mixon?
I don't know, dude. He's missed a decent amount of time the last few years, but I feel like when he's healthy, he's a game changer out there. Like he's a good receiving back. He's a good he has good breakaway speed. I don't really know. I think I look at, and this is going to make me sound like a real casual football fan, which for the most part I kind of am. I look at a lot of things based on fantasy, and that guy runs fantasy weeks when he has a good week. Like his upside is just so high, and I think when he's healthy, he's probably a top 5 running back.
That's fair. I know fantasy football is a lens you can look at it from, and I don't hate that at number 5. He catches a lot of balls out of the backfield, especially in that Houston offense. Obviously, Saquon, number 1, 2,000 rushing yards last year. Only 13 rushing touchdowns, but you got to think, like, he gets so many stolen by Jalen Hurts in the tush push.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. He would have 25 if they didn't tush push and they just handed it to him on the 1.
And then Derrick Henry at 2. I can't hit against either. He is just he is an unstoppable force. And not the greatest pass catching back, but it doesn't matter when he's just that dominant up the middle. And it's just hard to slow him down. 16 rushing touchdowns last year, nearly 2,000 rushing yards as well. I believe he led the league in yards per carry with 5.9. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he did. And then you had Gibbs at number 3, you said? Gibbs at 3, in a split backfield to be able to do what he did last year on an offense that is so run heavy is really impressive as well. He's a good receiving back. He had 500 receiving yards last year, and that's with, again, a split backfield. And then you close it with Jonathan Taylor, you said, right? All right. Taylor is a guy who is so up and down, but when he's on, he's on. And he last 4 yards, I think the last 2 games of the season, he had 100 yards and 218 yards in those 2 games or something along those lines. Or he had 4 straight 100-yard plus performances.
And I think that's how I was looking at it too. It's like when any of these running backs are at their best, where are they? When take all of it in a vacuum and put this guy when they're playing their best. That's kind of how I looked at it. If you're going by single season, obviously you could think about Bijan Robinson last year was nasty. Josh Jacobs maybe I don't know. I feel like after those top 7 or 8 though, it does definitely drop off a pretty decent amount.
Yeah, it does drop off because you do have guys like Kyron Williams, Josh Jacobs, Bijan Robinson, James Cook. And then you get to the Bucky Irvings, Alvin Kamara's, Devon Achane's of the world, where it's not I'd still take all those guys on my team, but there's levels to this. There's definitely levels to this. I don't hate the list. Obviously, I think the Joe Mixon one is the most surprising. He's not personally on my list, but let's go ahead and get to Josh.
Yeah, sorry. So number 1, obvious. J.K. Dobbins.
I know how much you love J.K. Dobbins, but no, it's Saquon.
Ramondre Stevenson.
I hate Stevenson. No, I don't hate Stevenson. I don't think he's a very good ball player.
Ramondre Stevenson. No, number 1, J.K. Dobbins. Dobbins, not maybe. No, number 1, Saquon Barkley.
Yep.
Obvious.
Yep, don't have to say anything.
Number 2 is Derrick Henry.
All right.
I argued for a second. I was no. Number 3 and 4 is where I argued. I think if you could definitely convince me one's better than the other. Number 3, I have Bijan. I have Bijan Robinson at 3. Number 4, I have Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yep.
You could definitely convince me to swap that to make it Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson. But I'm going with I think Bijan's a little bit more work heavy, work dominant. I think Jahmyr Gibbs, I don't want to say he's just on a good offense. I just think that the entire offense just kind of complements around him, with obviously David Montgomery being there as well. I think Bijan Robinson is more of a workhorse, can kind of take it for his own and just completely dominate an entire game. That's why I think Bijan's a little bit... I'm giving Bijan just the edge.
I don't hate it. Gibbs. I mean, it does make a lot of sense. Bijan is he's the workhorse running back in that backfield, and Jahmyr Gibbs is essentially in a split backfield. So I don't hate it, Josh.
I mean, also, correct me if I'm wrong, too. David Montgomery was getting most of the passing yards from that backfield last year, right? So, I
have to look into it. He did miss a few games, but again, a split backfield.
Yeah,
definitely.
But I feel like he was more of the pass-heavy guy. I could be completely wrong on that, but definitely takes away from the workload argument.
Yeah. So continue,
and
Josh.
Then number 5, and again, you can make an argument for a lot of these guys to be in there, but I think based solely off of this season, I'm going to give this guy the edge. I'm going to give it to Josh Jacobs. I think Josh Jacobs had just a better season than majority of the other guys that you could argue with number 5, that being Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, James Cook. James Cook, I wasn't really contemplating. I was contemplating Breece Hall and Jonathan Taylor at 5.
I didn't even think about Breece Hall. It didn't even come to my mind.
I wasn't really heavy on Breece Hall. It was mainly between Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor for me. I thought about it for a second. I don't know if you have him on this list, Tom, so I might keep my mouth shut. I was thinking of another guy, but I'll let you talk first before I spoil anything, in case you have this guy.
So I do agree with your list. Josh Jacobs he was so, I don't want to say underrated, but he just flew under the radar last year. He was just consistent, man. On that Packers offense that, you don't really think about, when I think about the Packers offense, I think about, Jordan Love, and they have a bunch of, wide receiver 2s and 3s on that team. And then Josh Jacobs was really, the calm of that team last year. And I don't hate that pick at all. He was super consistent last year in the backfield for Green Bay. He didn't make my list, but he was a guy I was debating putting on my list. He had 1,300 rushing yards last year, 15 rushing touchdowns, 36 receptions, 342 receiving yards in 17 games. Just super, super consistent in the way they leaned on him, and he helped that team get to the 11 wins they got to last year. I don't hate it, but he ultimately did not make my list. So my number one, obviously Saquon Barkley, my number one running back in the league. His season last year was super special, and it's impossible to put anybody above him as of right now in the NFL. Like, he is the clear-cut 27-year-old running back you want on your team. At number two, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. Just the fact that he's able to put up the numbers he's able to put up and a split backfield, and yeah, Montgomery was out for a few years, but Jahmyr Gibbs having 1,400 rushing yards on 250 attempts last year, 16 touchdowns when David Montgomery got 12 of those rushing touchdowns that very easily could have been his as well. I think you can't deny that he is like the second best running back in the league. Just how important he is in that offense around him, the way they want to run the football, and he's arguably their best weapon on a team that has Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. He is a dangerous guy to beat. Like, he is who you have to worry about, and I just think the fact that he's able to beat all of that in a split backfield, if he was the only guy in that backfield, I don't want to say he can compete with Saquon Barkley because I just think he's on another level right now, but he's clear-cut the number two in my eyes if he's in a split backfield. At number three, I have Bijan Robinson. Younger guy. I know Skillings, I see the look. I didn't put Henry. I just took the youth over this as well. He is electric in the backfield. 1,400 rushing yards, and it took a while, I feel, for the Falcons to really figure out how they want to use him in that offense. And he was tied for fifth in rushing yards, rushing touchdowns, this year. Third in rushing yards as well. And under a new quarterback, I think you'll have a better receiving option now without Kirk Cousins. He now has Michael Penix. So, I know this is top 5 right now, but I think looking forward, I think he'll make himself the clear-cut number 3 running back going forward. At number 4, I have Derrick Henry. The only thing is he's not the greatest pass catcher. And I think if you look at guys like Bijan and Gibbs, who could run the ball just as well up the middle, outside as Derrick Henry, they're not the force that Derrick Henry is, but they can also catch out of the backfield. I just think that's why I put those guys above Derrick Henry. He's entering his 10th season in the NFL as well. Who knows how long that longevity goes with him as well. And at number 5, I have Jonathan Taylor. He's so up and down. I wanted to put Josh Jacobs in here. I thought about Kyren Williams a lot as well here. It just came down to those last 4 games of the NFL season. 100-plus yards in every single one of those games. You can't deny that. Like, when this guy is on, he is a game changer for that Indianapolis Colts offense. So that was my 5 right there. Yeah, I know Skillings, you were shocked about the Derrick Henry. I'm not denying Derrick Henry. I've just never been like the biggest Derrick Henry guy. I mean, obviously 5.9 yards per carry, it's disgusting. 16 rushing touchdowns, nearly 2,000 yards. It's just in the modern NFL, I feel like you have to be able to catch out of the backfield, and that he can't really do that. It's tough.
Yeah.
Anybody want to speak?
Yeah. I think the thing with the Ravens offense too is that they incorporate so much of those checkdowns to their slot receivers, Rashad Bateman and what's another Jamoke's name?
Zay Flowers.
Zay Flowers, yeah. I think you can get away with it. You can get away with having a big hulking back who can't catch the ball as well when you have those 2 weapons for that. And if you're talking purely about a run game, yeah, he's not the I don't know. I think his value doesn't, the running back value doesn't necessarily have to come from their versatility in the backfield. If they can run the ball the way he can and break through the middle like he can, I think it's pretty clear cut that he's number 2.
Yeah, and I'm not going to disagree with that at all. I mean, if you want to put him at number 2, I'm not going to disagree with it. It's just personally, I would take these guys over Derrick Henry if I'm building a roster, which is how I look at this. Is like, I'm building a roster. Who's the first running back out do I want? Who's the second? Who's the third? That's how I look at building this top 5, personally. Josh, any thoughts?
I understand why you had Derrick Henry at the 4. Sorry, my computer's acting weird. I understand why you had Derrick Henry at the 4. I feel like Derrick Henry's in one of those, like, I don't want to compare him to, like, obviously Patrick Mahomes. I feel like he's in that position, though, where it's like you can't really put him this low. I understand that Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson, obviously, they're young, they're amazing at their age, and they're obviously kind of like the best talented people on their team. I just feel like it's illegal to put Derrick Henry at 4. I feel like it's illegal. Like everyone was saying how illegal it was for Sarah to not put Patrick Mahomes in her list. I feel like it's illegal to have Derrick Henry 4. I don't know, but I understand why. I wouldn't be surprised if this was the case at the end of the season though, where it's like clear cut. Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan are better than this dude.
I'm also a huge Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan Robinson fan, so maybe that has to do with it as well, just picking guys I do like over Derrick Henry. But I don't want to deny he is a special talent. He really is a guy we have not, something we haven't seen in the NFL in a long time. Just a big, he is, his size and his frame with his speed as well is something we haven't seen in the NFL before, and he is special. It's just, I think these guys are more special, and I would take, guys who not only are, quick, twitchy, they can also catch it in the backfield. You can do more with them on your team. You have more options, play action passes, jumping, having them kind of duck out of the backfield, catching that, check down pass and taking it 10 yards for a first down. Whereas with Derrick Henry, you kind of know what you're going to get. You know it's going to be an aggressive run up the middle, preferably, and you have to try and stop that. Can your guy beat that? Can your guy beat Derrick Henry? And most guys can't beat Derrick Henry, which is why he's so good and so special. But it's also, when Jahmyr Gibbs is out there, all right, what trickery you have to design with Jahmyr Gibbs? When Bijan Robinson is out there, it's okay. What trickery you have to design for Bijan Robinson to be successful? And I don't think you can get that with Derrick Henry, which is why I put him at number 4. I'm not saying he's not a great running back. It's just personally, I think I'd take the versatility of these other guys over Derrick Henry.
Understandable.
All right, so that's going to be our top 5. Josh will get the graphic out there on social medias, hopefully faster than the last time. The template's done, so you should be able to make it happen. Get some pictures up there this time too. I'll send you some great pictures of Skillings to put up there. I have some absolute gems.
About my graphic.
I have some gems for Matt Skillings' picture to be up there.
I know
you gotta send them as
What's
you
up?
gotta send them as an actual. You gotta send them as an actual photo though. I can't take the sticker.
I'll send them as an actual image. I figured the sticker would have been easier, and then you wouldn't have to Photoshop the stuff out. But we'll make it happen. I have some absolute classics of Matt Skillings from high school, which will be perfect
if you
for this.
toss the one in where I got a double chin going, I'm gonna kill you.
That was the first one I was thinking of. I was thinking about this earlier. Is either that one or the one where you have the doggy filter on Snapchat. Yeah, but it's not as funny because we're not going to put the text, and the text is really what makes that one special.
The text is really what makes it good.
So I'll have to go through.
I have so many photos to Tom that he sent me a ton that he wanted me to use. I'm not using a single one of them. I'm using the ones I have.
You know what's a shame is you won't use the one I sent you where you're drunk holding a beer with the cutoff and you're making a face, and you won't use that. I think that was perfect.
I was just happy drinking my soda.
You were 21 by then. Don't worry about it. You were 21. It was a tweet. I think it was a tweet. That was a great weekend. That's my favorite picture of you, I think, out there. But if you're choosing my picture, I feel like I should get to choose your picture. I feel like that's fair.
No, I'm making
even though you're making the graphic.
Yeah, no, my graphic, my rules.
All right, fair enough. Well, let's get that on Instagram today, please. Prefer that. We'll post some stuff over the weekend.
How about you let me do my thing and you don't complain about it?
I'm not complaining. I'm just putting a time limit on it. I'd like to get this out somewhat fast. That's what I thought. We'll do wide receiver.
Have some patience.
No, patience is a virtue I was not born with, and I will not develop. I'm a very impatient person. I want to do things.
Well, you're gonna have to learn it, bud.
No. We'll do wide receivers next week, so come with that. Next week will be tough because I'm not on vacation next week. I'm on vacation in 2 weeks. So we'll figure that out in 2 weeks. That'll be next week's problem. Skillings might need you to tap in again. I don't know when Sara comes back from Greece. Bro, what is that picture?
That's you.
When?
I don't know.
That's not me. You can't use that.
That is literally you. That is literally you.
Can't use that picture. I'm vetoing it. Don't use one with the filter. Don't use one where it's very I'm sure you have better pictures.
If you can veto pictures, I can veto pictures.
Skillings, you're the special guest, bro. I don't want to hear it. Skillings, but we might need you to tap back in, Skillings. I'll let you know. This was episode 7 of the Duckboat Dispatch. Follow us on Instagram at the Duckboat Dispatch. Same on TikTok. We finally have it. Shout out to Sara for doing that because I did not. On YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, all the things. We're coming with a Spotify soon. Making a Spotify account to post stuff is a pain for no reason whatsoever, but I'm working on it. I will make it happen. Episode 7, we'll be back next week. Hopefully Jaylen Brown and Derek White are still Celtics. Who knows? We'll see what happens with the NBA draft tonight. We're T-minus 3 hours away from that. I guarantee news will break at 6 o'clock if somebody gets traded. But that's that. We'll see you guys next week.